Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. I consider it a great pleasure to be able to come before you. I consider you a blessing that you're there giving me an opportunity to speak to you. And I'm confident without doubt that I would not ask you and be so gracious of you if what I am saying to you had no value. For indeed it truly must, because it has taken me off any other path and put me right here in this. You know, we as a people, we really got a lot of stuff in common. I was thinking about this moment and the different subject matters that I could use to express the message that I have today. And one subject matter I made a note of was someone is lying. Someone is lying. Now, what's the benefit of lying? You know, we were taught that you should tell the truth. All of us were taught you should tell the truth. We teach our kids they should tell the truth. And they believe that up until the telephone rings and we tell them to tell whoever is on it that we're not there. So we start little simple things like that of teaching lies. And when people get caught up in a situation, even as a kid, especially that first moment when being honest has gotten him through some changes. In one moment he decided to lie in a situation. And because he lied, he got a chance to get out of that situation without paying the cost. And from then on, once these things happen, people have benefited from lying. So they lie. Some places we think that people don't lie at so much. For instance, in our institutions, we might think that they don't lie that much. We might think that our presidents, when they speak to us, they tell us the truth. We never would think that our president, the leader of the free world, as they call it, the one who stands before all of the people of the world, the people of the country, and even the children, holding up what we say this nation represents, great moral values and very, very great, wonderful standards. So this is what the children, now this is when the parents tell the children to say they're not home, when the president, or if any president would stand up and just lie to the people, meaning the truth has no value until it has some value. And when it has a problem, a lie works. And they'll keep on trying it. So what happens when we say the whole Republican Party are liars? What happens to the rest of the people if they believe that? What happens if they say the Democratic Party are liars and people believe that? What happens when we say that haters and love, excuse me, that the news media, what happens if everybody that has a voice is called a liar? Then here you are in the middle of all of this mess, all around you, nothing but lies. Somebody's telling the truth. Somebody's telling the truth. But where is that truth? You look amongst it. The truth you'll end up deciding is that which comes closest to your point of view. It has nothing to do with the truth, but it comes closer to your point of view. And so it is empowered. And so the nation and constitutions are built on people who are led by this kind of character. And other people are held by law to follow and obey it. We talk about the church. The church who talks about a higher power who wants you to know that in contrast to all the things that you have confronted in the world, there is a higher power that is waiting to receive you if you can just hold to a certain standard of principles. Hold to a certain standard of principles, which undoubtedly includes not rocking the boat against the darkness, against the state, against that which is fake. So who can you turn to when it comes down to Someone telling you about God. So what is all of this for? What is all of this for? It is abuse. It is abuse. What's happening? You're being confused, but life goes on. Why are you being so confused? I mean, it used to didn't be this bad. It was kind of bad for a lot of people. But it used to didn't be this bad, but now it's this bad. And what is it doing? It's splitting us up. Got us confused. We don't know which way to go. And I'm going to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. Your president, he really thinks that he is the smartest person on earth. He thinks that he's much smarter than Putin. He thinks that he's much smarter than the guy in North Korea or any of these dictators. He thinks he's much smarter than they are. And he's always had a plan if he ever got to this position. Now in this position, supposedly the most powerful man, at least Americans think it, on the face of the earth. That's what we tell ourselves. That's what you guys tell yourselves. Most powerful man. Now you think he's going to humble himself into those guys, but what he really doesn't know, what he really doesn't know is that he, at this present moment, is being used. He's being used by a power that's way in the darkness, way, 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 way back in the darkness, but is running this thing as if he's sitting right on the throne. And everything that Trump does has been by design. He might not even know it. He might know some of it, but the best of it, he doesn't even know that he was trained. He was brought up to be just like he is, and put right here before the American people at this date and at this time to lie, to cause confusion, to cause the kind of confusion that caused people to pick up bombs and send them around to other people who they disagree with or who are upset that they speak against the man who they love so much. And they are going to bomb them. And this is all this world that we're living in. This is all this world we're living in. And yes, people are upset, but ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you this. I did a piece the other day, what I called it, the true reason that black people are poor. And I said it because the black people are expressing the fact that they are closer to God. They don't know that that's what they're doing. But the reality that they are in this position tells the story itself. They are closer to God. You see, we have suffered and done everything we possibly could to be good and bad as we could if we had to try to survive. But we never, at least here, been on top. It's always somebody stepping on us. And they have instituted a different kind of system, a system of money, a system of who got. People who came onto this earth and claimed everything that God made, they claimed it as their own. Set up little institutions, set up little ways that you can get contractually involved. And claim this what God has given to the world. Claim this as their own. And then put rules and regulations that govern it. And then set up things where it says you got to have money to get this. And then they want to govern you how to do this. And all of your peace, all of your prosperity and joy of life is gone. And they're trying to suck you in, suck you in, suck you in. And I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, when you have to rely on this, somebody is benefiting. And it's not you. So what I'm hoping that you could do is stop for a moment. Take notice. Yes, I know you were trained to think that black people are crazy and all that kind of stuff, but they're not. Black people got it going on. I say that it takes a black man to straighten up what's happening in this country and effectually all over the world. Now, Barack Obama couldn't do it because he was split. You can't be split. You got to be it, black. And you got to have white hair on your head. And you got to be serious about loving that comes from God. And it got to be built on something more than something that you heard or you read. It got to be because God showed it to you, did it for you. And you can stand up and tell the world. You don't care if they believe it, but you can tell it because it's real. And so a black man stands up and for this country, put his life on the line, not just for black people, but for white people as well. Though they were held as slaves by these white people. And all these other people that come from other parts of the world who seem to be benefiting much, much better than the blacks. But a black person, only a black person stands up and put his life on the line that all of these other people can experience the same peace, the same prosperity, the same joy of life that he feels that anyone would want to experience. Only the black man does that. Can you think of a white man that has ever done that? In what book? Oh, they say they're smart in what areas that they were trained or brought up to be in, but changing the world by showing compassion and love to everybody is not one of them. So, it's going to take a black man to do that. Now, I want to tell you something else. These are reasons why it makes it so easy and simple to believe that if Jesus, because a lot of folks now don't want you to believe that Jesus truly existed. And so a lot of people don't. But I'd like to say this. Even the way the story goes, if Jesus existed, there's no doubt he was black. Because the things that Jesus did, white people don't do. Jesus put his life on the line for all people. At least the story says it does. Can you see a white man up there for that? That ain't gonna happen. So, I'm gonna tell you, as a black man, you're being played by the darkness. You're being used. Whoever took the initiative to send some bombs to some people, can you imagine the kind of hate they must have inside of them? Can you imagine what kind of hate people must have when they see people walking thousands of miles running from hell, hoping, they keeping hope alive, that they can find a door of compassion somewhere along the way? Can you see a God that brings forth his military and put them right across the border and say, you're not going to enter here? I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen, what kind of God do you have? Is that the kind of God that you serve? Is that the kind of God that you give allegiance to? Is that the kind of God you get up every morning and pray and thank God to be able to walk, be able to breathe, and to look at these other people and say, not over here? You want that God, you have that God. And I don't want to know nothing about it. Because the God that I serve knows how to satisfy your dreams and theirs. But every last one of you got to sit your stupid tails down and listen. Now that doesn't mean that there aren't many wonderful people in every race. And they're a bunch of low-down, dirty suckers in every race. But no one is innocent. We are all guilty. Each side exists because of each other. Yeah, I started out telling you about the subject matter I initially was going to use by someone's line. I started out to say to you that I saw something on the news, I guess. It was a reference to some past president who got in a situation. I guess the nation was similar to what our nation is in today. And he got a picture of a snake. And he took an eraser and erased sections of the snake out and divided that snake. Well, this is not a snake. But he divided the snake up into pieces. And he looked at the people, I'm assuming, or at least in his mind, and he said this: unite or die. That means bring yourselves back together. Because you cannot live separated. Take out a part of you, you can't live, you deformed. You got to come together. So the message to you, the people, you better unite. And if what you're trying to unite to leave somebody hurting, leave somebody feeling pain, they got no darn right to unite with it. And you, if you're looking for peace and prosperity and happiness in life, will never unite with that. But now, if you still just don't know any better, you just don't know any better. And it's going to take people like the ones that know better to do better, to show you better. Now, I think I'm going to stop there. I think you got my message, and I want to thank you so very much, so very, very much for giving me this your time. But you know what? You've heard people say, stop looking at the messenger. Look at the message. Some people want you to look at the messenger. Some people want you to look at them. And when it comes down to the message, they don't want you to, whatever you say is all right. That's what some people want you to do. And some people love that. But the truth of the matter is, this is not about the messenger. This is about the message and you. The message and you. If someone came to you and told you what numbers to play to win the lottery, told you exactly what numbers to play to win the lottery, and you say, well, what you got to lose? And half of you played the numbers and half of you didn't. You win the lottery, they don't. They mad at you, and now they want you to split half with them. And they say you are not fair and honest if you don't split with them. But you know what? Look at it like this. You had nothing. You had nothing but enough to take a chance. And you took a chance. And you benefited from taking a chance. Now that you have benefited from taking a chance, why not benefit others who did not have the guts that you had, but who now are going to be rather than being your enemy, they loving you. Why? Because you shared your blessing with them. In their ignorance, they know they don't deserve it, but you shared it with them. That's godly. Now, you didn't have to do that, but rather creating a friend, or keeping yourselves friends, you would have created an enemy. Why? By doing exactly to them at this moment that they did to you in that moment. But up to this point, you're a winner. But the moment you do to them what they did to you, you become a loser. Because now you are abandoned. Man, let me go. I'll talk to you guys later.